Hey, how's it going, YouTube? I'm back in the video, and today I'm talking about how the Philadelphia 76ers have created a future dynasty in the making, and I'm going to be going over pretty much like how they've done it, how they got to where they are right now, from drafting their players to trading, making good trades, making trades for picks, being very smart with their picks. I'm going to get into all of that and how they have done it, and I'm going to be going into how they've really built a team to really compete for championships right now. So without further ado, without rambling on too much, let's get right into this video. So the first thing the Philadelphia 76ers did was they drafted two superstars in Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Now both of these players have potential to be future of the NBA and future Hall of Famers. I mean, Joel Embiid is probably the most skilled, best big man in the entire league right now. He's extremely explosive, and Ben Simmons is literally a jump shot away from being a top 5 player in the league, as despite him having a lack of shooting, he still gets to the rim with at will, pretty much does whatever he wants, and is completely positionless, as he can guard all 5 positions on the court. While, yes, he can't shoot very well, but he can score on also all 5 positions on the court as well. So, I mean, he has no position whatsoever, and Joel Embiid, I mean, is just dominant. Like, no one can stop him, no one can guard him, and he is, in my opinion, the best center / big man in the entire NBA. And Ben Simmons has the chance in the future of his career, if he can get a jump shot, to be the best point guard / shooting guard / small forward / power forward. He has a chance to be one of the best players, if not the best player in the league one day, if he can get that jump shot down. So drafting those two players were pretty much the beginning to this dynasty, as before those two players, they were a joke of a franchise. But my second thing is they have made excellent trades, and in those trades they have given up very little star talent, if any at all. I mean, just look what they did, as when they traded for Jimmy Butler earlier on in this year, the only thing they gave up was Robert Covington and Dario Saric. Now, yes, Dario Saric was a very nice, and is still a very nice young player that I really do like, and Robert Covington was an all-defensive player. Neither one of them, though, all-star level players, and probably you can't have them starting on a championship team, but in exchange for a beast of a defender and a pretty good perimeter player in Dario Saric, you get one of the best wing defenders in the entire NBA, and also another good shooter / just scorer and facilitator in Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler was a perennial all-star pretty much for his entire career. I don't think he was an all-star this year, but that's just because his minutes and touches were getting taken away because he's playing with such good players this year. So I mean, the Philadelphia 76ers really made sense in what they did, because Robert Covington, really the biggest thing that he brought to the table was his defense. Well, Jimmy Butler is a better defender than Robert Covington, so the defense is still there, and he's also a better scorer than Dario Saric was, so the offense is still there. So really, Jimmy Butler is pretty much what those two players give you, but he's all that in one package, so they really didn't lose much. They gained more than they actually lost. Then in the trade deadline trade that they just made that no one was really expecting for Tobias Harris, all they gave up was Landry Shamet, Wilson Chandler, Mike Muscala, and 2 first-round picks, and a second-round pick. Now, y'all might be like, that is a lot of stuff to give away for somebody that might not even resign with you. Well, if they make the finals or go make a deep playoff run, I'm almost for sure that Tobias Harris is going to resign with them. But Landry Shamet, he was a dead-eye shooter, but he didn't play much, and he was a rookie, and he just wasn't that good. Tobias Harris just so happens to be a dead-eye shooter. Wilson Chandler didn't play much, and neither did Mike Muscala, so really, those two players don't really matter. The 2 first-round picks, Philly doesn't really plan on being bad anytime soon, so those first-round picks, despite barring any injuries or anything, should not be anything bad. And with how young their core is, really, they don't need those 2 first-round picks, because just look what they're going to have. As I mean, if Tobias Harris resigns, they now have a young core of Embiid, Ben Simmons, and Tobias Harris, and if Tobias Harris still signs, then they also have a 4, a big 4 of Jimmy Butler, who's not old. He's actually in the prime of his career. Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and Tobias Harris. So that's a very good big 4, and they're not going to be bad anytime soon. They're not going to be in the lottery anytime soon, so I really don't think those first-round picks are going to be very valuable. But then also that second-round pick, I mean, that's really nothing. And what they got out of that, what they got out of a rookie that wasn't anything good, was really just a dead-eye shooter, which Tobias Harris is, and 2 players that didn't play, and 2 first-round picks that aren't going to be in the lottery, and pretty much an irrelevant second-round pick. They got a young player that is an all-star level player, averaging 21 points per game, 8 rebounds per game, 3 assists per game, and is shooting 44% from the 3. So really, when you look at the trades, they pretty much got players like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, the players they traded, they all brought one thing to the court, but the players they traded for are all the things that those players brought to the court in one. So really, they were just very smart trades. They didn't give up any star talent in those trades, and I mean, it's really showing how good of a team this is going to be. And once they all develop chemistry together and really just build chemistry and start developing and their games start to mesh even better, this team is going to be one of the most unstoppable things in the entire NBA. And now my other reason is they covered up one of the biggest flaws in any of their starters positions, as Ben Simmons cannot shoot at all, but they completely covered up that problem as they now have two sharpshooters, as they have JJ Redick and Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is a very good team that can shoot the ball, can shoot 44% from the three. That is very good. He's a very efficient scorer. JJ Redick is, since he's joined Philly, has been unbelievable. He just went for like 32 last game they played. He's an absolute beast and can light it up. If he's open, it's getting knocked down no matter what. And then also, I mean, this is just going to force defenses to stretch the floor even farther, even thinner, to the point to where Embiid and Simmons are going to have a field day. Because when you have to respect Jimmy Butler's shot, Joel Embiid can spread the floor a little bit, Tobias Harris and JJ Redick's shot, you have to respect all those people shooting. And then, okay, now Ben Simmons no longer has to shoot because the floor is going to be so spread out that he's going to be one-on-one, and no one can guard Ben Simmons one-on-one. And if you double Ben Simmons, well, someone's going to be open for a shot, and they're going to knock it down. So this team is going to be a very difficult team to defend, and they're now my favorites to make out of the East. But now my last reason is going to be how can they, because you can't be a dynasty if you don't win championships, and you can't win championships if you don't beat the Warriors, let's be honest. Well, they have built this team to beat the Warriors. As I mean, just look at this. Now you have Ben Simmons on Steph Curry. Now that's almost an even matchup. Now yes, Steph Curry is a better player, but Ben Simmons can definitely guard him. He has the length, and I mean, going to the basket, he definitely has an advantage. So that matchup is actually pretty much even because I mean, Steph Curry's just unguardable. He's that good of a shooter. But I mean, Steph Curry can't guard Ben Simmons either, just due to his length and like athletic ability. But then you have JJ Redick and Klay Thompson. Now they're both great shooters. Yes, Klay Thompson's a little bit better, don't get me wrong. But I mean, JJ Redick, as you look at the shooting numbers, really isn't that far behind. So it's not like it's a landslide in Klay Thompson's favor. It's a pretty even matchup as well. Then you have Jimmy Butler on Kevin Durant. Now, obviously, Kevin Durant is a way better player than Jimmy Butler, but Jimmy Butler is still probably a top 3 wing defensive player in the entire league, and if anyone can guard Kevin Durant, Jimmy Butler will be that guy, because outside of Kawhi Leonard, really no one else is that much better on defense than Jimmy Butler. So, I mean, Jimmy Butler on Durant, yes, Durant's going to get his points because it's Kevin Durant, one of the best offensive players we've ever seen, but Jimmy Butler can definitely stay in front of him and slow him down and stop him from going for like 50 or 40 points. Then you also have Tobias Harris, who's a much better scorer than Draymond. Then Draymond Green's a much better defender than Tobias Harris, as he won Defense Player of the Year, but I mean, Draymond Green cannot even come close to doing the scoring production Tobias Harris can. He can't shoot as good as Tobias Harris either, so that matchup is pretty much even as well, but I actually give the advantage to Tobias Harris. Now you might give me hate on that, but I just think Tobias Harris is a better player than Draymond Green. Then you also have Joel Embiid on DeMarcus Cousins, and if you asked me a couple years ago, I'd give the edge to DeMarcus Cousins, but with DeMarcus Cousins coming off of a Achilles injury, plus him just not being as good as Joel Embiid in my opinion, I give the advantage to Joel Embiid. Now you look at both their benches are pretty damn weak, so I mean, I don't give anyone an advantage there. If I had to, I'd give it to the Warriors, just because they have Andre Iguodala coming off their bench. So I mean, when you really look at it, they match up very, very well, and the only way to become a dynasty, like I said, is to win finals, so they have to beat the Warriors, and I mean, this team can definitely beat the Warriors. Now, do I think they will? Probably not, but once Kevin Durant leaves, depending on where he goes, the Philadelphia 76ers will be a legit finals contender, and if Tobias Harris resigns, this team will be a threat to come and could potentially be the next Golden State Warriors. But unfortunately, guys, this is the video, so comment below, do you agree with me? Do you think this team could become a future dynasty? Do you think this team is going to be a future beast of a team, one of the dynasties that we're going to look back on and be like, dang, that's a really good team? I want to hear all your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, and if you did like the video, point like button and subscribe button. If any videos you want us to be making in the future as well, comment those below as well. And I also cannot thank enough for all the support y'all been showing, and I also have to give God all the praise. He's really blessed me to be here. He's blessed me with the situation to be here. He's blessed me with all the things around me to keep making these videos and keep spreading his name through this. He's blessed me with the people around me to keep me motivated, blessed me with my family. He's keeping everybody safe in my life, really just keeping me in good health to make these videos as well. And I just love making these videos, spreading the news of sports and what I want to make, and then also spreading his name through these videos. It's just amazing and once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I cannot thank him enough for giving me this opportunity, and you guys enough. And like I said, that's it for this video. So if you did like the video, point like button and subscribe button, and I hope you have a blessed day. Could I have a blessed day, so you need to have a blessed day. See you in tomorrow's video. Goodbye, boo. Blah, blah, blah.